Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new video. I'm gonna jump right into this one because I'm gonna have to reiterate and go into a lot of different topics that I've made in past videos, specifically about Jaden and Natty Forsyth, and completing the unholy trinity of degenerates, Femyaz. Now starting off with who is Femyaz? Well, believe it or not, Femyaz is a femboy. If you couldn't already tell. Femyaz is also a debate streamer. I think my opinions on debate streamers were pretty obvious the last time I talked about this kind of stuff. I don't think I've ever expressed how much I dislike debate streamers on this channel, so I'm gonna do that right now. I do not like debate streamers, and while making this video, my opinions have only solidified. Now, much like Jaden, Femyaz is getting shit on for a multitude of things, but at the moment, what everybody's more mad about is the fact that he doxed somebody. If I'm correct, Femyaz didn't directly dox him, but he did help contribute spreading that information around, and in my opinion that's just as fucking bad. Femyaz made a video addressing this and I can't find it anywhere, but he did also make a community post and I'm just gonna read that. And honestly, it's just fucking sad. Femyaz starts off with, "To all the people giving me legitimate criticism, I don't have a problem with you. You can say I was being kind of cringe in Augie's show or point out the fact that I posted a few bad tweets, it's whatever. We can just acknowledge that it's cringe and move on with our lives. What I do have a problem with is people lying about me and taking things out of context, so I'll address it here." Now, before I get into the community post, there is really only one lie that was made about him, and it is the most stupid fucking thing anyone's ever heard. It's not even an allegation. I just want to clear this one out of the way. I'm not even gonna read it on the community post because it's so fucking dumb. I don't want to spend a minute and a half talking about this, but to sum it up, for some reason, after all these horrible things that Femyaz is being accused of doing and the bad people he's accused of being friends with, Femyaz decides that being accused of having a diaper fetish is important to add on to the list. It is of utmost importance that Femyaz does not have a diaper fetish. Yeah guys, I know I'm friends with a pedophile and another equally piece of shit person, but please stop spreading this rumor that I like to shit in diapers. Like, God forbid people believe that. Now, anyways, starting with the community post. Femyaz says, "Doxing. I've been accused of being a doxer for posting publicly available information about Valid Els on Twitter. What people don't include is the fact that Valid Els himself has harassed and doxed many innocent trans people for simply existing and being themselves. What I did was optically stupid and a bad idea, but I was giving him a taste of his own medicine. Anyone who says I dox people over political disagreements is lying to you." Now, for some background and context, Valid Els on Twitter is an account that I guess specifically targets transgenders. Like, every post is about like transgender this, transgender that being bad. And on one hand, it is really obviously a bait account trying to get people upset, but to specifically choose this as a bait account topic, and looking at the account, it almost seems like kind of an obsession. So don't get me wrong, whoever's running this account is obviously a massive sack of shit. And let's say in the scenario that Valid Els is actually guilty of doxing people, what worse way to reinforce that doxing is bad by doxing somebody? Guys, I know what I did was really bad and disgusting and very hypocritical of me, but he deserved it, guys, come on. And again, Femyaz doesn't think that he's a doxer because he wasn't the one who found the information, but he still spread it online, and like, it puzzles me how you think that's not as bad. It's the same fucking thing. It's even more embarrassing because Femyaz is a debate streamer. He's supposed to make videos like contradicting why people think the way they do or something. If Femyaz was like, "Hey guys, look at this Twitter account. Look at this no-life who spends all day posting about trans people who he claims to hate, specifically hating on one group of people. This is embarrassing." Like, you could have made like a video about that, but instead you decide to leak his address and his phone number and his name. Like, the whole premise of Femyaz's channel is to essentially talk about shit like this. Like, that could have given you the traction you wanted and at the same time not made you look like a hypocritical fuckhead. And let's just say that Valid Els in some crazy scenario decides to put his phone number, his address, and his full name on his Twitter account, right? Let's just say that you didn't dox him. Publicly posting that information solely for the purpose of harassing this person and putting their life at risk is fucking dumb. So no matter which way you look at this, it doesn't prove a point, it just makes you look like a hypocrite. Now, after this was the poopy diaper allegations, which obviously I'm not gonna read into because that's fucking dumb. So after this was associating with Jalen. Jalen has been nothing but kind to me and is a genuinely nice person behind the scenes. I'm not cutting ties with her no matter how much you hate her. Jalen has proven to be a bad person countless times, like, not to mention the video I made on, like, one of my last few videos I made was on Jalen, and she does very scummy shit. You know, actually, in fact, I want to get into this. I made this video on Jaden, and somebody left a comment. They said, "My exact problem with the argument is that Jaden is a channel that constantly talks about stuff like this." She was talking about Brasso, by the way. "As soon as something comes out about a person doing something bad in the past, Jaden is the first one to talk about it, so why should Jaden be excluded?" I responded with my point exactly. It's more so that Jaden's audience says the past shouldn't matter, but Jaden has expressed annoyance with her past being resurfaced, which is where the accountability argument that comes into play since she disregarded everything else that was mentioned. And Jalen comes out of nowhere for some reason on her other account. Jalen was taken, or Jalen Live specifically. And I'll just show like the whole comment thread here, and I'll show pictures of it on the screen. But if you read all of this, like you will notice that Jalen begins to put words in my mouth and tries to manipulate the argument in her favor. And every time I'd be like, no, Jalen, I didn't say that. No, that's not what I meant. Jalen even started off saying that she only calls people out for doing something illegal. And at the time when she said that, her most recent videos were of Brasso. Brasso didn't do anything illegal, and although, yeah, like what he did was very scummy, like it wasn't illegal, and I pointed that out to Jaden. And Jaden goes, you can't compare me being edgy on Twitter to the things Brasso has done. And I was never comparing her in the first place. I was responding to the argument that she created. And this is one of the biggest problems I have with Jalen, other than the false copyright strike shit, because when she did that, that was very scummy, and there's really no excuse for that at all. Jalen is just a massive fucking liar. Like, I couldn't even have a conversation with her without her putting words in my mouth and trying to manipulate the conversation into something that it wasn't. Having a conversation like that is extremely frustrating. So no, I've gotten a bit of an understanding of who Jaden is behind the scenes, in quotations, and no, I don't think she's a good person either way, and she's proven that. Now, these next three and last things listed on the community post, I have the biggest problem with, aside from the doxing, obviously. Associating with Natty Forsyth. I also covered who Natty Forsyth was in the video I made about Jalen, because just like Femyaz, Jalen was defending being friends with this person. Now that segment is kind of long, so I'll put a timestamp and I'll link the video in the top right. So if you want a short summary, Natty Forsyth got caught texting a minor and asking for nudes, and I'm pretty sure the minor in question was around 12 or 13. It was one of those two. Again, if you do want like the full proof of that, it's in the other video. But Natty attempted to deflect the argument and make this excuse that, well, they didn't ask for the age, so they were just being irresponsible. And Jalen tried to make excuses for this person by saying, oh, Natty Forsyth was only joking when they're asking for nudes. And Femyaz's excuse for being friends with Natty Forsyth is, well, I don't have enough evidence, when all you have to do is look it up. I also want to double clarify this. Natty Forsyth makes Roblox videos. I don't even have to describe or explain the demographic that comes with that kind of content, so not verifying the age of someone isn't just ignorance, it's the fact that Natty Forsyth didn't give a fuck. It is such a slippery slope to defend someone for being stupid and irresponsible. You can be stupid and irresponsible because you didn't put your seatbelt on properly and you crash and smash your face into the steering wheel. You can be stupid and irresponsible and drink a little bit too much and, I don't know, fall on a glass table and fucking shatter it. Being stupid and irresponsible for not verifying the age of someone you met online and asking for nudes, that's not something you want to make an excuse for, ever. And this is from the standpoint of looking at it with no proof despite there being a fucking shitload of it. So rightfully so, just as Jaden was, you're in hot water for being friends with a fucking creepy piece of shit. Now moving on is Femyaz's interaction with Augie RFC on his show. Now, I don't give a fuck about Augie, in all honesty, I don't care. But it's the reason why Femyaz was on the show in the first place, which was to debate his opposition to gender-affirming care for minors. This should go without saying, but if you're an adult, you can do whatever you want. You're old enough to make those decisions and you've had enough life experience to do so. But trying to give the opportunity to someone who's making a life-changing decision, who also doesn't fully know what they want in life yet, is an awful idea. Like, forgive me, but I don't think giving a 9-year-old hormone replacement therapy is a good fucking idea. Like, that may be a little controversial, but little kids should not make extremely important and life-changing decisions for their entire future. Like, all the way up until I was 12, I wanted to join the military. What was I thinking? Anyways, the last segment of his community post is his interaction with Keffals. And to everyone's surprise, Femyaz disagreed with Keffals, so she ghosted him. Who would have thought? And it's speculated that Keffals ghosted him because YouTube drama is bad for his mental health, which is a load of bullshit. Keffals literally blew up because she was ratioing people on Twitter over LGBTQ related stuff. Honestly, the Keffals thing isn't really even that bad. She's just a piece of shit, and it's kind of sad that Femyaz interacted with her. The way I see this currently is that Femyaz is being influenced to think the way he does, and what I mean by that is making excuses for things and attempting to cling on to these people when there's really no good reason to. Like, get your shit together, dude. You honestly have a chance to fix this stuff, like, genuinely. That's only if you want to. I genuinely feel like that Femyaz is on this kind of like verge of being influenced fully by these people. And just to like put this into even more perspective, Femyaz is friends with Jalen, someone who is known for being a massive liar about very severe and important things. 94 Sith, someone who lied about their interactions with a minor. Not to mention Keffels, who is a massive fucking liar, who also, I think, if I'm correct, she made some sort of lie about Destiny. Like, sorry to say, but you're hanging out with very manipulative and shitty people. Honestly, that's all I got. If you enjoyed, thank you for watching, and come back for the next.